Hello, everyone, and welcome to one of our interviews that we've been having lately with a bunch of community members and community players. Today we have Kevin and Kevin. They're squared. And they are, I guess, fairly recent Grand Archive players?
It's been about a year now,
Yeah,
but I still feel recent. But
Almost exactly a year.
Yeah, almost exactly a year.
Well, happy anniversary for both
Thank
of you.
you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. How'd you do in today's locals?
No.
Oh,
I won.
No.
there can be only one.
There can be only one. We do say that a lot, actually.
There can be only
Oh, it was
one.
not me.
So I wanted to bring you both on because you came from a previous anime TCG known as WIXOSS. You both played it fairly heavily. You went through the tournament circle. I know you made a couple of top finishes in some of the tournaments as well.
Yep.
How about you?
My highest was 14th.
14.
Still pretty good. Still top
So
16.
that was the biggest one.
He was a superior Kevin.
Yes,
in that
yes.
instance.
For WIXOSS.
1 billion %, this guy was way better than me.
Okay.
Like, not even, no question.
So tell me a little bit about WIXOSS because until you talked about it, I really didn't know much about it.
Sure. So WIXOSS is a Japanese TCG made by Takeratami. It's been in Japan for around 10 years, over 10 years now. And came to English about 2021. It's another champ-based game, so you tend to focus on, they're called Larigs in this game, L-Rig, Larig, whatever you want to say.
It's girl backwards.
Yeah, it's girl backwards. You choose a champ, and you sort of build your entire deck around that, which is really similar to Grand Archive, which is one of the things that really, pulled me in originally. And there's a bunch of other, really close comparisons, too, like the Larig deck. You have a material deck, essentially, in WIXOSS that always exists on the side. You can always pull from every turn. And it's exactly 12 cards, again, in English. So
Depends.
depends, but yes.
I guess in English, yes, it was 12.
In English, it's 12.
It was 12. It never got to the 10.
Yeah, but the game's been going for over 10 years in Japan, still doing really well, but unfortunately, recently was discontinued in English.
Which is quite sad because I know you were trying to rebuild your locals for WIXOSS, and unfortunately now that's not going to happen. We are happy that you have joined our Grand Archive community. Kev 2, I'm gonna go to Kev 2.
Sure. You can call me Olivia.
Kev 2, you went to the final GP Grand Prix.
Yeah, the last Grand Prix. So there was, I think, 7 total Grand Prix. There was 2 Vegas, 2
Vegas, Florida, 2 Texas.
And then, 6.
It might be 6, yeah. 6.
Okay. Yeah. So I went to most of those, and then, I did go to the last one back in November. Yeah, November. they initially put it on the weekend of Thanksgiving, but thankfully they changed it. So then one last slap in the face, right?
Yeah,
But they fixed it, so it was okay. And I went to the last GP, and it was everyone there was there to have a pretty good time. The pricing there was still pretty good though, so you had the people who were trying really hard and wanted to win, they were there. But then a lot of players were there just to enjoy the GP. In fact, a lot of I'd say maybe a third, or I'd say at least a third of the players there, that was their first and only GP, right?
Surprising a lot of new players.
Wow.
At the very last one, everybody wanted to come out just to play, one last time.
Give it a good send-off, so to
Yeah.
speak. In English anyway.
Yeah.
The location was pretty good too. I think it's the West Coast, put more people on that side too.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But yeah, it was super fun. I got to see a lot of these old buddies of mine. I've known them for quite a long time, right? So it's very nice to see them again. Great to play the game. And one last time I cosplayed. I sent you some links. You can flash it on the screen here later if you want.
You got pictures of your cosplay and all?
Yeah.
We'll throw it all up there.
Yeah. He's infamous, and everybody knows that.
I'm fairly infamous because of it. I went to every.
Did you cosplay a cute anime girl?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
I have my favorite character, and then I cosplayed as her. So that's I went all in. Yeah.
Wow. Why haven't we seen any Grand Archive cosplay from you yet?
Well,
give it time. Give it time.
Well, off camera, you kind of called me out, so I don't think I'm gonna do it anymore.
Noted. Okay. So obviously, there were some similarities between these two games that attracted both of you to come to play it. And you had said something recently over our Discord that you felt that the most recent Umbra Alice card, especially the CSR, was very WIXOSS coded. And I thought that was very interesting because there's now obviously a bunch of WIXOSS players, English players, who are now essentially homeless. They don't have a TCG. And would you recommend them to come and play Grand Archive?
Oh, I think absolutely. The great thing about Grand Archive for me personally is that the skill ceiling's really high. You can play the game, you can have fun, locals are great, the entire community is fantastic so far. But like for me, I really get that competitive itch, and Grand Archive really feeds into that well. That was really good in WIXOSS. But like here in Grand Archive, I've got a lot of the same thing coming in. Good tournament support, good prizes, good software for everything, bigger events to go to, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I think like, again, I got the Grand Archive kind of the same way, right? Like, well, like our locals, I just say this, like our original WIXOSS locals, right? It's shout out Stevenson Games, Stevenson, Maryland, shout out.
Yeah.
They supported WIXOSS day one. Okay.
Yep.
amazing.
Literally day one.
Literally day one, we went there and they're like, "Wait, you're here for WIXOSS?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then like they called up the company like, "We got tournaments, can we get promos?" And they're like, "What are you talking about? How?"
Yeah, literally first day of set release in English, we were firing a tournament, which is insane.
Yeah. So we really thank like Stevenson Games and Larry, who owns Stevenson Games. But like then Grand Archive came out, and then we were also there day one, but it never fired off. But it kept coming back, and now we're playing Grand Archive because like we were looking for something else to play alongside WIXOSS at the time.
Sure.
We got like the Reco decks and stuff like that, the Tristan and Sylvie Reco decks. And like, oh, yeah, at the very least, like I always kind of liked Grand Archive. I just knew I was like probably never going to get into it. But here we are. Yeah, whoops. Here we are now. What I like the most about both WIXOSS and Grand Archive is that high skill ceiling. I feel like you're very much rewarded for doing well, right? If you put in the homework, you put in the time, you get rewarded for that, and I think that's really cool. WIXOSS, I've always loved that game because it is super easy to play, very easy to learn, very fun to play, but like. Every time you make a mistake in that game, you knew exactly when you made that mistake. Like I thought
And
that
you
was
feel it. You get punished for it.
You get
Immediately.
You immediately get punished for like you pass turn and you're like, oh crap, and then like and then your opponent was like da 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 and you're dead, and they're like, wow, that was my fault. It was all my fault, and that I really like that part about WIXOSS. Grand Archive is like roughly the same thing. There are some things that are like kind of iffy, but like I feel like there's a lot of things I can learn by making mistakes in Grand Archive that I eventually never make again, right? And yet everyone today at locals is still forgetting Lost Providence.
True. No, that's definitely true. Being able to recognize when you make a mistake in both games is pretty easy, and it's really helpful for like improving, learning where to go from there, and doing better next time around.
Yeah, like so, like I know, like WIXOSS, like for the people who really were competitive with it, they were always winning. They were the best. Sure. And I think like if competitive-minded players like Kevin wanted to like go from WIXOSS to something else, Grand Archive is a huge. It is probably the hardest card game I've ever played. It's very hard.
Yeah,
it's very hard to be. It's easy to learn and play, but it's very hard to like be really good at. And I think that's like a good.
It's got a very complicated stack.
Yeah,
you can do a lot of things on the stack. Yeah.
So that's why I think WIXOSS players would probably be into Grand Archive because of like the champion system and like the high skill ceilings.
So, why do you think WIXOSS was discontinued in the United States in English?
So, this is unfortunately a pretty sore point for the majority of the community. The main reason it died was literally just the company. The company releasing it in English, they were still in charge of everything in Japan and not really doing much to advertise the game at all, to integrate with like card shops, just like the greater community, like TCG community in English.
It's really hard to get it in distribution, too.
It's only one distro had it. People don't like that distro. I won't name it by names, which already made it a really hard sell for a lot of stores.
Because some stores just didn't refuse to work with that distributor.
Yeah.
Right? So like.
Yep. What can you do at that point?
Like I know for a fact, like I think one of the biggest anime card shops. It's in New York, right?
Yep.
They refuse to carry English WIXOSS because of that distributor.
That's unfortunate.
So like big distribution problems because they were in Japan and running a game in English while not having boots on the ground. Like there's that huge disconnect.
Sure.
But it stinks because like we had really good promo support, we had really good tournament support. Just the communication was abysmal. We had no actual English reps. We had nobody to contact. And then the game just kind of drifted to death.
Yeah, if you don't have a community who's willing to prop it up when the community, when the company isn't trying.
And that's the thing, like, the community tried. We have community members who spent years making decks and giving them out for free at conventions, because, like, you'd think, like, at an anime convention or something would be a really easy pickup.
Sell, yeah.
Easy sell, just show up there, open a booth, show the card game off. I mean, we have that for Grand Archive all the time.
Yeah.
And they always do well. Bushiroad always does really well with it.
Yeah.
And Takara Tommy, you know, they just did not do that.
They did Beyblade.
They did Beyblade. They would do Beyblade. They'd advertise Beyblade, but nothing for WIXOSS, unfortunately. So really, like, even up till the end, even to the very last Grand Prix, the community support was really good. We had a lot of content creators. We had people trying to grow the game. We had people trying to sell the game at, you know, different stores and everything. It was really just the company, unfortunately,
Were you one of the content creators for WIXOSS, or did you just get interviewed a lot?
Yeah, I popped up in a bunch of interviews.
I made one video.
We have friends who were content creators, and they were pretty heavily involved too. And like,
Okay.
I don't know, it was a very tight knit community. We all sort of knew each other because, like, we're talking probably no more than like 150 players or something like that were online and active. There were others here and there, but like 150, 200 is probably the higher end of like the people you constantly saw.
I see.
But even then, like, the nice thing about WIXOSS was that it was so cheap for them to distribute and bring over that, like, they didn't have to spend a lot of money getting the game out there. So it could continue to survive even off of just a small dedicated base. But that was also sort of the downside because the game will never grow.
Right. It won't.
Yeah. And then I think, like, I mean, to throw the little cherry on top, the scares with tariffs and all that stuff suddenly is like, oh, it's probably not going to be worth continuing their time to keep trying to bring it over. The margins change, right?
Right.
So when things were that delicate and they weren't super on the ground anyway in English, that was kind of the end of it.
So you mentioned really good prize support, and
Yes.
How would you compare the prize support to what Grand Archive does? And speaking of prize support, here comes your prize.
Oh,
my God,
how about
good.
that?
I did win today.
Sounds good.
Look at that prize support right there.
Pretty good, pretty good.
Okay. So yeah, how would you compare the prize support that Weebs gives out compared to what WIXOSS was?
Yeah, I mean, like, I would say they're very comparable. With WIXOSS, we were getting a new set of promos every single month, between like 4 to 8. Just showing up at a tournament would get you promos, winning would get you foil promos. They'd have like ceremonies, which are sort of the equivalent of like the shop challenger, the store champs, whatever. And we, you know, bigger pricing for that. We had the Grand Prix, et cetera, et cetera.
Some of those cards that came out were like some of the cards that you win at these shop regional like tournaments were like $100 at least, right?
Oh yeah.
Easy $100.
Yeah, and the nice thing was like all the promos in WIXOSS were also like usually alt art of existing cards. They didn't really give new cards, so it's like here is cool bling if you want that. Like you can pick the art you like, pick the foiling you like. It's all, you know.
Yeah, if you look up the one card like Exia plus Angel Queen, right? Plus if you pull that up, right? There's I think 3 or 4 different versions of her.
Yeah. They're all promos except for the base one. That
No. Well, the one is in the double hair one's.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, there's the other hair, right? But there's 4 different ones because that card is amazing at all points, and there's like so many different alt arts of that card. So people really wanted that, and that's like they would just hand those out to be sold, to be won at ceremonies and stuff like that. And sometimes they would even give 2 sets so that the winner could get the whole set of cards, and then you could like raffle off or just like
Raffle off
or like trickle down the other ones. Like so like we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of cool promos, and like it was cool.
Yeah, but I guess like in direct comparison, right? Like coming to Grand Archive and playing, you'll get promos for just showing up at the tournament. Usually you get more promos for winning. All the promos are good. Yeah, like
you get event packs,
these nice
when you go
little
to
event
locals.
packs here with all kinds of different stuff in those.
Yeah.
Chances at foil cards as well and everything. Like it's nice to just
And
show
signatures.
up. And signatures, yes.
Yeah.
Unique cards that are in there. I mean, I guess they're technically unique signatures, same cards, but etc. But yeah, it's nice to have constant prizes coming in just for showing up, more if you do well, and like, I don't know, it just feels like rewarding to always have something waiting for you when you show up to locals. So
Yeah.
What would be your elevator pitch to your fellow WIXOSS players to come and try out Grand Archive?
if you're looking for like an anime styled card game with like good art, nice chase rarities and things like that too, because that was something else that WIXOSS was really big on. Just alternate arts, alternate rarities, like shiny versions of the same cards, like your CSR equivalents, right?
Oh yeah.
If you're looking for good art, good chase rarity stuff, and then like the biggest thing, good rewarding gameplay that rewards you for how much time you put into it. You'll see the returns, you'll improve, your game sense will get a lot better. Things never really feel like coin flippy, swingy, like the skill is very apparent in both, in my opinion.
Imagine trying to play us from a year ago now, as we are now, right? Like,
Yeah. I can't even imagine.
There's tangible strength gains over the past year, and I think
Absolutely.
I think that's really cool. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I like WIXOSS. That's why I like Grand Archive. I like Grand Archive because like I really do like their organized play structure. It's phenomenal.
It's one of the best.
It is the best.
I think it's
it
the
has to be the
best.
best, right?
Yeah.
So many
It has to
card
be the
games.
best, right?
Yeah.
Like
And their
when-
organized play is amazing.
it blew my mind the first time yeah, man, go to Omni decks. And I'm like, what do you mean? And then like my first event, I was like, this is insane. Like why couldn't every game do this, right?
Pairings, your ranking system,
Yeah.
event points.
And like they gamify everything so that every win, like you just get a little number high. You're like, yeah, right?
Number go up.
Number go up.
And I love number going up. Like, it's so good.
Number go up.
It's great. It's great. Like so. I think if you're a player who wants to who likes to play a lot of you want to play a lot and see returns, but also even if you're want to play casually, you still get stuff
All the time.
by just showing up to locals and stuff like that, right? I think the big thing is that seasonal rewards are cool.
Yep.
Every season, a new set comes out every 4 months in this game. So every season you have a new thing to rank and work towards, and they give you rewards at the end of the season.
Yeah, they get mailed to you.
Yep.
Yeah, they just mail it to you. You don't have to deal with distributors bringing it to your store, right?
Which was another problem.
Yes, we all know the distributor's bad.
Well, I want to thank both of you, Kevins, for joining me today, talking a little bit about why, obviously why you switched because your game ended.
To be fair, we started playing while the game was still alive.
Sure,
it just
yes.
happened to coincide that as the game was dying.
When did P16 release?
May?
May? So from May down to November, there was nothingness.
Yeah. And even before May, we were suspecting it was.
We already knew that it was already probably dead,
Yes.
which is unfortunate, right?
That is a shame.
So that's when we started.
Well, again, I hope your fellow WIXOSS friends see this and they give Grand Archive a try.
I hope so too. I don't know. Game's very rewarding. Community's great. I think that's the last thing I want to mention. WIXOSS was such a small, tight-knit community that everybody knew each other and everybody was awesome. I felt very similar in this game too. It feels like coming back home to a card game. Like, everybody's friendly. I love locals. I love traveling, meeting new people too, and I get the same sort of itch scratched by the community here. It's great. Game's great. The community really cares. The company really cares. So, yeah.
Thank you very much.